broadcasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command.
Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
It's the Sci-Fi Podcast.
And hello, welcome to this week's Solo and Sci-Fi Podcast. And coming from the darkest reaches of the galaxy, from a parallel dimension, from a time in a far, far away future, I present to you Michael Ball.
Thank you for that intro. I couldn't think of any decent sound effects this week, so it's just going to be just me sort of coming in, which is, I don't know, that's not good, is it? That's surprising for me.
No.
After Terminator and the sliders and the TARDIS and whatever. So, but next week I'll try and think of a sound effect. How are you?
I'm good. I'm getting my house decorated. I'm getting new carpets, getting ordered new sofas. I'm very happy. Finally, I'm going to get my house up to back to what it should be. Finally, and I'm going to get all my science fiction collection out. I'm going to put it all out everywhere, and I'm going to be happy.
Well, you've got, the thing is though, I've seen on YouTube you've got a lot of stuff in your area, in your room as well. I've seen lots of things on the walls, like the guns. There's a big one of those marble shield things. I saw that on a recent thing that you did. I'm catching up with all my 3D printing. The latest thing I printed is the Orville, it's about 30 centimeters across. But it looks pretty good. It was really hard to put together, but I've got it just by my Blu-rays, and it looks pretty good. So I don't know if you can get that online, whether you can get Orville models and stuff like that.
It's coming out this year. I think somebody sent me a link to it off YouTube. It's what is it? Eagle Moss.
Oh, Eagle Moss. They do all the Star Trek ones.
The Starships, $49.99 for a 10-inch one.
So do you think you might get one?
£10 for a miniature. I don't know yet.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I've got stuff. I've got to unbox and review, and I'm selling a lot of stuff off.
Oh,
I'm going to be trading.
So why do you sell? Do you just like to sort of sell to change stuff and get new stuff in your place?
I trade. I'm on loads of sites where I trade stuff with other fans. I look around for what I'm after. I'm after stuff that what people don't really have, you know.
Well, that's why I did the Orville. That's why I did that, because the thing is, though, that's not around apart from the one you just mentioned. And I thought, well, luckily, somebody out there has made a 3D image of it. But even then, I had to resize it and do it and stuff like that. But yeah, I like rarities and stuff like that.
Well, I've been looking for a Ballockhead. I'd go and say Bollockhead. I've been looking for a Ballockhead, from Corbomite Maneuver.
Oh, well, I saw you put that on YouTube. You got that mask thing.
Yeah, so I was on this dodgy site in China.
How'd you do it?
Right.
Just make sure you use a VPN before you go on the site. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, no, it's wish.com.
Oh, I don't know. I've no idea.
It's like a Chinese Amazon.
Okay.
My God, you can buy replicas of everything. It's like, I couldn't believe what I was looking at, And
this sounds dodgy, by the way.
I mean, every brand out there has been replicated, and I thought, are you kidding? And I thought, this is all coming into the country. It's a really good site. It's all legit because you get refunds in it. So they play it straight.
So you're saying it's
I found
reputable.
a Bollockhead. How are you going to say it?
Bollockhead, yeah.
Bollockhead. Yeah. So I found the mask, and it turned up within a week, and I've got plans for it. So I'm very happy with it.
I saw you trying to wear it. You said it looked like you were suffocating wearing the thing now.
Yeah.
But you're going to use one of those sort of dummy round things that you put masks on, so it sort of fills it out a bit, aren't you? You can have it like on a stand or something. Yeah, and
then I'm thinking about putting like some material around the bottom of it.
All right.
Like it's got a neck collar, yeah. So I'm after a life-size bust, but I can't seem to find what I want. So.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I mean, we were talking before we started recording about just like the high streets and stuff, and a lot of people now, of course, are so used to buying online, whereas, of course, our generation, we every lunchtime when I used to work in Kingston upon Thames, I'd have a look around the shops. I'd go into Smith's, I'd go into Woolworths, I'd go in H&V every day. And I loved it, and it was a really nice way of getting away from the office and actually having some time out and stuff like that. And of course now people look online on Amazon or wherever, and it's to me, it's although it's good. It's not quite the same as physically looking at a DVD box, and of course now people just they get digital copies of films anyway. But it is strange how people are changing now. And I was also realising that it's like people's attention spans are very, very short. I mean, you know, these episodes on YouTube, I mean, they start off and they do drop off quite quickly with the number of people. But it's not just this channel or this series. Everywhere. People will literally look at something for 2 minutes and then go to the next thing, and then go to the next thing. And it's amazing how people, because there's so much out there, and I think this goes back to things like when it was just, show my age here, when I was growing up with just 3 TV channels, Radio 1 and Radio 2. Old days. And there was nothing. You'd sit there and watching Frank Boff on BBC Breakfast TV in 1982 and Selena Scott and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, thanks for depressing me, dear.
Oh, I know, but it's there. I know.
Thanks, yeah.
No, but it's good because you haven't got Frank Boff and Selena Scott anymore, have you? You've got bloody... well, you got Grammarly adverts on YouTube, and he
got caught in a
I know he did. I remember that. Dirty old man.
So I couldn't believe it. Frank bloody Boff.
Frank Boff. I looked up to him.
Grew up on him.
When I was growing up, I watched Frank Boff, Stuart Hall, Jimmy Savile, and Rolf Harris. God, it shows how fucked up I am, doesn't it? After all that bloody. It makes you so bloody jaded, doesn't it, when you see all these people?
I mean, the thing is now, like if you want to buy a bollock head or whatever, it's you're not going to get it in the shop. So you've got to go online. If you want something like something from a movie or something like that, you've got to go on websites like Etsy.
Or even more futuristic now, where you can actually go on a website and download a physical 3D STL file. Or SD, I think it is, and then you print it, and it's in your. And that's futuristic, isn't it? That's futuristic.
Yeah, I was on Etsy last week, and somebody was selling a file. He'd printed out a full-size Terminator, 3D printed a full-size Terminator. I don't know the type of printer he had. Took him, but he built it. This 3D printed
out of all the bits.
Yeah, and he was selling the file for about £1,000.
Bloody hell! I mean, the thing is, it's I use Thingiverse. There's a lot of free stuff there, but you can get stuff that you can't find on other ones as well. I mean, I did my Star Trek fleet from Thingiverse, and it was good because I had to cut them all in half and then put them on the wall. I sent you a picture a while, but I also got a small Terminator head. I've got a T800 head as well. Not anything as good as the one you've got, but. It's just, a new thing, and of course.
Well, I mean, I don't buy everything. I don't buy like miniature figures and all. I used to do. I'm more after film type of stuff now.
I like models and stuff. You know, I like icons. I mean, like I've got the what have I got? I've got a Cylon, not full size Terminator head, a Cylon Centurion head, original series, War of the Worlds machine, Xenomorph head, Rimmer's badge. SGC logo, Cyberman head, a gold attack from SG1, Discovery from 2001, Orville, and I've got quite a few things actually, but it's good fun.
Yeah,
I love all that.
I bought the Invader UFO model.
Oh yeah, so have you done that yet? Because I saw you unpack it.
No, my mate's doing it because he's very good. He's putting trees round it, a diorama. He's very good at all that.
Well, when you've done that, maybe you can send that over.
I'm going to do a part 2, but I am planning to buy a 39-inch Seaview submarine model.
Oh, Seaview from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Yeah, it's 39-inch in length.
I've just got hold of the original film of that, and I'm going to give that a watch.
It's very good. The original. I did review that.
I know.
It's very good.
Actually, it was when you said about that, I thought, well, let's check that out because I've not seen Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Very good. They made that quite serious. A lot going on in it actually.
But the series,
I do recommend.
I was going to say
Ice Station Zebra.
Ice Station Zebra.
You want a man film? You want a man film with no pussy romance and no screaming women? Get a man film. Ice Station Zebra. And I'm sorry for I'm not being feminist at all. This was of the time where men drank whiskey and smoked cigarettes.
Oh God!
Took on the baddies when men were men.
Yeah, I saw Full Metal Jacket recently again, and that was quite good.
Oh God,
That's a good film. I like that. And the guy who's the sergeant, the guy that's bossing them about, is in the first episode of the series we're going to be reviewing today,
He is.
And I was very surprised when I saw him. And the thing is, that guy, whenever you watch him, he's practically always playing the same character in every one.
He is.
He was even in Body Snatchers, the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and he was like a sergeant in that. He wasn't that extreme, but again, he was like in the military, bossing people about and stuff. So
he was an actual drill sergeant.
Oh, really?
I think he would. Yeah, in real life, he
was.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
That's right. I think when he got out of military, he was consulting on films.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they hire people, don't they, to keep it more. Well, I think that's how he started, and then he ended up being in films, but he always played the sergeant.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy, apparently.
Yeah.
He's dead now.
Oh, was he? Oh, it's a shame.
I think he's died, yeah.
Oh.
I saw him on YouTube on a video a couple of weeks ago. He was firing, shooting guns in America.
Right.
You know, shooting these weapons. But he seems a really nice guy. But can you imagine having him as your drill sergeant? Can you? You remember Wang when he said, "They won't shout at me, will you?" And there's them all them sergeants.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is also when we go into it, I'm going to also mention that I think that Space Above and Beyond was very much a trigger for a film which I think resembled it quite closely, which of course was Starship. Okay, you're right. Let's say that. Right, shall we go into the news about what we've come across this week? Do you want to start off with that? Shall we do that?
Well, again, it's been a weird assortment of news, but put in the jingles.
Here we go. Here's the jingle.
Working.
So the Sci-Fi
News.
Okay, Martin, what have you heard this week so far?
Right, it's a bit of they're making rumour Batman Arkham developer Rocksteady working on Suicide Squad game, video game. Also, there's been some Judge Dredd anime series concept art and animation being released for a proof of concept sequence for a potential CGI Judge Dredd animated series.
Oh, okay.
Created internally by Studio Access to showcase the art style, testers, technology used to produce it. It was conceived as a homage to Akira.
Oh, okay.
So that's up. It's on his bike. George Lucas, it says here, George Lucas and Jon Favreau hate The Last Jedi, according to writer and producer Cameron Pasha. Lucas is horrified at what has happened to Star Wars under Disney.
Yeah.
All this went down on a live stream yesterday, and this is on Nerdrotic.
Oh, I hate him.
Yeah, well,
I hate that guy. I can't stand that guy. He just slags off everything, and he apparently he's a real arsehole. Apparently he was really like the Trek Kiars people who I'm a big fan of. They reached out to him, and he was just like he did one thing, and then they tried to get in touch, and he just sort of pissed off. I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. Yeah, go on.
More Star Wars news. Star Wars officially makes old Darth Plagueis backstory non-canon.
Why?
Star Wars has officially rendered the previous history of Darth Plagueis non-canon, creating opportunities for brand new stories.
But I mean, Plagueis was mentioned in Revenge of the Sith. So, are you saying that now is not going to be canon from that point on? You mean?
No. I'm reading it now. If I'll give you the website if you want it. Screen Rant. Star Wars has officially made the old backstory of Darth Plagueis non-canon. The character of Darth Plagueis was first mentioned in Star Wars Episode 3 and was a Sith Lord. Plagueis remained something of a mystery, undeveloped, even the old expanded universe, until Del Rey announced a novel revealing his backstory. I've read that. Darth Plagueis was written by James Luceno and was supposed to be released in 2008 before ultimately coming out in 2012. This drew a lot of attention from Star Wars fans because there were rumours Luceno coordinated with George Lucas himself, and then when Disney purchased Lucasfilm, they wiped out the expanded universe. games and comics were declared non-canon. All that's case, so many believe Darth Plagueis should remain binding in the law.
Right.
They pointed to rumours of Lucas's involvement, and the case was made stronger when Lucina returned for a new book named Tarkin and explicitly referenced events from Darth Plagueis. E.K. Johnson's new canon novel, Queen's Peril, has finally settled the issue once for all. A good portion of Johnson's novel is set prior to the Star Wars prequel trilogy, including the same time in Darth Plagueis presented Palpatine as still being an apprentice.
Right.
So, Darth Maul is an assassin, not a Sith Lord.
Okay.
Bless him. Palpatine only killed his master after sentence to become Chancellor. In contrast, Johnson portrays Darth Sidious as the definite Dark Lord of Sith through the whole story. There's no way to reconcile these two books. Darth Plagueis' death should be, therefore, considered non-canon. I'm not having that.
No. I mean, and also, if it were to become a bigger factor, would they then delete the scene from Episode 3 where Darth Plagueis is actually mentioned? Because that, if it's actually physically on a film, on one of the Star Wars films, that makes it a complete canon. The only way they can remove it is if they actually delete the scene from the film, I would assume.
Yeah, but the Plagueis book is canon. When that is classed as canon, I mean, he's been mentioned numerous times in Star Wars. Return, what is it? Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are they doing this?
Oh, I don't know.
You know,
I don't know.
I'm not happy about it.
No, I'm not. I mean, like I said, I think that's a character I'd like to have seen more. But even just hearing about what he was about was certainly interesting.
I'd love to have seen him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and especially as we don't know yet what's going to be happening with the Star Wars films in the future. So I don't know. In the end, we've got the Mandalorian to look forward to, and of course the Obi-Wan. But again, everything's on hold. Talking about things on hold, there's something which actually came out in, just change the subject very briefly, in March 2020. Apparently an Alien 5 script draft was worked on.
Yes, I was going to bring that up today.
Brilliant. So what have you read about it as well?
Mr. H Reviews has been bringing it up, and he says, well, Ripley's Sigourney Weaver, she's not interested, but she could be, and she feels connected to the character, but there's been more. But last night, Mr. H in his review, I watched it before I went to bed, he said they reckon that Disney, or Fox, who owns Fox, that what they're doing is they're testing the waters for the fan base. Is it another Ridley Scott disaster, or do they want Aliens 5?
It's interesting. Yeah, because obviously, I quite like the prequels, even though the only problem with them was that they changed the whole mystery of the alien itself. And we talked about this on the recent show we did. The idea of Ripley, because Ripley the clone is still technically alive at the end of Resurrection, so she could return. I don't know. What would you like? I can't.
But Aliens 5, it's going to be set in a parallel universe.
Oh well, that's not so interesting to me. I'd rather it be not a parallel universe.
But it's Hicks new.
Oh yeah, I heard about that where they're going to redo the one straight after Aliens. It's going to be
Neil
Neil
LeBlanc, the South African director, who did the screen trip. You can read it online. Yeah, it's set on Earth now, and they have to stop it. Yeah,
I don't know.
It looks really good. But
I liked
it really got funny about it.
I like Terminator Dark Fate, and that's technically a parallel kind of timeline. Well, it was supposed to be the original timeline, wasn't it? It was supposed to be swapped round. The Terminator 3 was like a different timeline or something. So they could do it. I don't know. I mean, in the end, it's when you sit down and you watch the film, is it going to be good or not?
Well, I think they've got to finish the prequels off. I think we need to get the answers. You know, I mean, I would have known because I wanted more on the engineers.
I assume that they're going to. I found
they offered nothing on them.
Well, Ridley Scott really has sort of dug himself into a bit of a hole with that one. So, in the end, give the bloke, just let it finish off with what he was trying to convey with this setup for this race. So, yeah, in some ways, I don't know. It seems a bit of a... They'll obviously go one way or another because it's one of those franchises that's too big to come back.
Yeah.
I did hear that the producer of Stargate, I can't think Brad Wright, apparently the other day he tweeted, somebody asking any chance for a new Stargate series, and he put a reply, one word saying, hope so or something. Or no, he said trying. He said one word, trying. So it looks like Brad Wright is trying to get Stargate back in some form, whether it be...
That should have been brought back.
That should have been done, yeah, I was going to say 5 years ago. It should have been back when Star Trek was coming back or something. So I'm surprised it's taken so long. But MGM, they're not owned by Fox, are they? They're still their own entity, aren't they?
It won't be long before Disney acquired MGM.
Yeah, so Disney's going to take over everybody, aren't they? I don't like that. I don't like one entity controlling the whole of Hollywood. I think that's quite a worrying thing, because then they won't be competing over each other, which means that if they've got all the money, if they take the whole market, then wouldn't that mean that the quality of films might drop because they're going to get all the money anyway?
Well,
what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think certain things should be left alone to develop themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I'd find with a lot of directors and a lot of these big franchises like the DC Universe movies, they're not listening to fan base.
No.
The fans know when you watch Discovery or you go see something, like the old Terminator fan, you know what you want.
Yeah.
Because you know the back history of it so well.
That's right.
And why are they upturning everything I've watched for the last how many years?
Well, that's why when you watch a fan film of some of these series, I mean, I've seen 1 or 2 Star Wars fan films, and they're very good. And of course, the Star Trek fan films, which we've talked about many times, like New Voyages, Phase 2, and of course Continues, are giving a lot of Star Trek fans what they want. And of course, I was reading the other day about people with the new Picard series, where the people who make it, they're not making it for the fans, they're making it for the general audience. And so that's why they do throw things. But then, a lot of things with Voyager and Enterprise, I think a lot of it was made for the Trek fans as well. It felt like it was still part of it, not too different. But
you see, my question is that we go 10 years from now, and Star Trek's had its run, and then they bring it back in another incarnation. People are going to moan about saying, well, it's not Discovery, is it? Because everybody panned Enterprise. Now they're all praising it.
Yeah. I liked
they all
Enterprise.
panned it when it come out. But now everybody, it wasn't that bad.
No, it has gone up.
10 years ago.
You're right. It's funny. And apparently, because I was told, because I thought I've always liked Enterprise, apparently I was quite tough on it when it first came out, and Stargate Atlantis. And now I like both very much.
I never liked the ship. I felt the ship looked like a wok.
Did you? What, the NX-01?
Yeah. I thought bloody awful.
I thought. Oh, do you prefer the NX-01 or the Discovery?
I prefer Discovery.
Even those huge long nacelles?
Shot down.
Oh, God.
But I did see the planned version of the NX-01.
I know, the season 5, they were going to give it a secondary saucer, going to be a secondary hull. It's going to be more like...
which I've got to admit, I was extremely impressed. Now, that's the ship I wanted to see.
Yeah, but of course the NX-01 is, many ways, it's just an upside down Akira class from the Next Generation era. It was... again,
when they did turn it upside down, it did look a lot cooler.
Yeah, they could have done it. I mean, it's like the first Voyager, I told you, really getting geeky now, but I saw the original Voyager design, which had the nacelles below.
Yeah,
and it was,
I like that.
Yeah, I still like the actual end design of Voyager, though. I think that's pretty good. I like most ship designs. I'm trying to think of any starship designs I didn't like. I've got them all on my wall.
What's your favourite starship out of all of it? What's your favourite one?
I've always been quite a fan of the Excelsior class, actually.
That's a beautiful ship. Mine's the
Nebula class, which of course is like, well, it's like a galaxy, but it's just got this big sensor at the top, and it's got this. I love that. I like that as well. I'm trying to see what else. I like the Voyager, the Intrepid class. Do you like the? What about the Defiant class from DS9? Because that was an odd-looking ship, wasn't it?
It's beautiful, isn't it? It kicks ass as that ship. I love that ship.
Yeah, I liked it. I wasn't so mad on the Enterprise C Ambassador class. I wasn't so mad about that one. Enterprise E was good as well. I also liked the Prometheus as well. That was quite the fullness of Prometheus. Yeah. Miranda class. I like Miranda class. Nova class, which was that ship from.
Yeah, that's what the Enterprise NX1 would have looked like, the Nova class, really.
Yeah, I could see
It
that.
was small. It would have been about that
It's
size.
a similar
wasn't
size. It's slightly smaller, but it's similar. But I just always love the designs of Federation starships. There's not many I've not liked. The only ships I couldn't stand were those terrible copy and paste ones from the end of Picard, which was that design was not very nice. It had windows along the actual along the saucer. It just didn't look right. And apparently I read that when they resume Enterprise, it's going to feature a lot more with Starfleet, which is good, because there's one thing that, to me, and I actually think that I would have given it a few more points, were if it had been more involved with Starfleet. Starfleet hardly existed in that. This is the whole first show ever in Star Trek's history where you're really, really lucky to see a Starfleet uniform in an episode, you know. And I know it's not the actual main focus of Star Trek, but to me, a lot of it is the Federation, the Starfleet, in their entity, whether it comes to defense or exploration, or learning to live in a world or in a universe which is constantly being a source of discovery. And of course, Picard was just about Picard, which, yes, I can understand that. It was Patrick Stewart, and of course, it was about his story. But I actually think if he'd been on some sort of small sort of Federation starship rather than that red thing that they're on, I think I might have liked it more. I don't know. It's just me.
I have some outer space news. I've got two lots of outer space news.
Go for it. What do you got?
You're not going to believe this. I'm surprised you didn't spot it on Facebook, actually. Astronomers find planet Vulcan, Eridani A.
I did see something about that. And it's
right
the same
where
place.
Star Trek predicted it. So Vulcan exists.
That's bizarre. Whether they actually called it Vulcan, though?
Probably now, yeah. It says that one of the most interesting, rewarding aspects of astronomy and space exploration is seeing science fiction become science fact. For instance, using the Dharma Planet Survey, an international team of scientists recently discovered a super Earth orbiting a star just 16 light years away. The super Earth is not only the closest planet of its kind to the solar system, it also happens to be located in the same star system as the fictional planet Vulcan. The Vulcan's rails head, are they?
Well, I actually didn't know that they'd actually made a place in the real space where Vulcan was put. I thought it was just anywhere. I didn't know that Star Trek, the writers, actually had put Vulcan in a part of real space. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a generalized place. It's Vulcan. It's 12,000 light years or whatever. But that's interesting. You know, if it's actually documented.
Yeah, again, Babylon 5, where the station is, is part of the galaxy. That is I forgot what it's called. But it's actually, I remember reading about. Is the place, and I think the Battle of Wolf 359 is somewhere as well.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. I know because it's near Sector 001. That's near Earth, though. Wolf 359.
Yeah, is there something going on we don't know about out there? So Vulcans are real. They're coming to Earth to save us.
And don't forget in America recently did that new Space Force, not the TV series, that new logo, which looked very much like a Delta from Star Trek in their new that thing that recently.
They've got problems with that.
Well, what's wrong with that? Have you heard about that?
Because Space Force, the TV series, might be getting the copyrights at logo.
What?
I'm being serious. They're getting into an argument.
It's against the real world, isn't it? Fighting fiction.
Because they've used it,
I'm still going to watch the second half of that. I want to do a review of that at some point. I've seen the first half. I think it's quite good. But like I said, I've been focusing on another series, which we're going to talk about in our main feature as well. So,
and the last bit of space news, apparently I've worked out, I don't know, all these super geniuses with a supercomputer and all these like hyper intelligent people, they've worked out that there's 36 intelligent civilizations
in our solar system. Galaxy. Yeah. They've done it by a mathematical probability or something.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, though, space is so big that if there is life out there, it could be just so hard to find it because it's so big. The galaxy is so vast.
But the Vulcans are on the way.
Oh, that's true.
The Vulcans.
Yeah, if they had a ship which could go just below light speed, then if they launched 16 years ago, then they could be coming tomorrow.
Well, that's it. Well, they're not going to be made welcome if they turn up, are they?
They're going to sort of like turn around and go back home again. Think, sod this.
Yeah, see ya. No, it's all right.
See ya, mate.
Well,
No, it's fine. It's okay. We'll come back in another 1,000 years' time when you actually got your heads
you
outside of your own
exist then.
arseholes. Yeah.
The planet's been run by apes.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Or AI or something, or Cyberdyne or whatever. God almighty. The one other thing I've got as well to throw in is apparently Avatar 2 has officially resumed filming. There's a new set photo. Because it's in New Zealand, so of course I think that the COVID is quite low down there. So that started production, which is good. And I read somewhere that something else is starting in September. I can't remember which series it was now. It might have been the Picard series. They hope to resume filming for that in September, and it's already June now, so that's that's not that far away really. So yeah, and apparently all the soap operas are starting filming again now, which is of course a bad thing. Doctor Who was due to resume filming in September, so they might be lucky because
apparently somebody said to me on YouTube last night the last episode of EastEnders for the next couple of months has been filmed. It's gone. EastEnders off the air now. That's it.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Oh,
yeah, no. He said because he said to me
they ran out.
One of my subscribers said, "Yeah, final episode because they've run out. They've caught up." So, I don't mean to. I was jumping for fucking joy.
Oh my God, that's the best news I've heard all year. My God, the end of the world, and EastEnders has been plodding on. It's finally succumbed to the virus. We haven't got Peggy Mitchell and bloody Albert Square and all that shite.
Well, it's going to be interesting because when they come back, are they all going to be putting this in? Are they going to be putting it in?
I heard a while ago that they said that they didn't want to make it a parallel universe where it didn't exist. So apparently it would be mentioned in it. But I think they'll keep it to a minimum because people don't want to be reminded about that. So I'm still watching Brookside, by the way. I'm up to episode 53 now. So
I've been jumping in and out. I watched sagas of it, and I shouldn't do that.
No, I've only.
You do get hooked on it.
Yeah, it's a good. I've only got about 3,000 episodes to go. That's all right. No, they're only 20 minutes long, and it's like I've got these fuzzy copies of them, but they're watchable, and it's like.
Don't you find that music gets repetitive though? The Brookside.
Oh yeah, I do, and of course it's even more. The original one is even more sort of synthesizer based. It's even more old fashioned. Yeah. So, but it's good fun. I love it. I mean, I'm watching out.
3,000. Well, that's a big.
I know. That's it. I mean, no, I'm only going to delve into one or two when I feel like it. Like I said, they're just there. I might not even get through them all. I'm watching Alvida the same pair again as well. I always watch that every year.
Yeah, I watch that. Do you know I sit through that every year?
I do. It's one of my all-time favourite series.
I love season 2 for some reason.
Oh, I'm at the end of season 1 at the moment. I like season 2 as well. And I liked season 3, even though it was when they came back. I didn't like season 4. I love
that. Is that where they go to
America?
America.
American one's great. I didn't get onto the Cuba one though. The Cuba one I didn't like so much.
Did the final one finish in Thailand?
Yeah, and then in the end of the last scene, they're on the boat. They're on the ferry going back to Germany, which I thought was a lovely full circle.
I liked how they started off with Barry. You know Barry.
Barry Taylor. Barry Taylor.
He came. He was a cokehead married to the Russian.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And it didn't take long to revert back to type when he started whinging all the time.
I know. It makes a laugh of our different regions in the UK, and it's. I love that, and I just like the fact that you've got the three Geordies. You've got the Brummie, and you've got the Scouse, and you've got the Cockney, and you've got the where's Bomber from? He's from Bristol, isn't he? Bristol.
Birmingham. No, Bristol.
Bristol, yeah, he's from Bristol, yeah. And then that's all of them, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it was a great series.
All been in Hollywood movies, all them, you know.
Because Pat Roach, he was in. Was he? Oh, what was he in? Not in Jaws. He was in a big film. I remember seeing him in something.
He was the German in Indiana Jones.
Yes. Yeah.
He did lots of stuff.
And he was also in Rising Damp the movie. He played a rugby player in that as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love Rising Damp. I mean, I know we're sci-fi based, but I'm a huge fan of comedy as well. I love it. I've got every sitcom. Well,
all he had to do to get Miss Jones in bed was be.
Oh, I know. Oh, Miss Jones.
All that arsing about and plotting and scheming and creeping round her. All he had to do was just be a bit dominant with her, and that she'd go, "No, Mr. Rigsby."
I love the. I thought the film was very good. Even though it was a shame that the guy that was in the series had died by then. They had to have a different guy.
Yeah.
But
Richard Beckinsale.
Richard Beckinsale, yeah, he died very young, didn't he? Apparently. So
he finally gets up them stairs to get into that.
And then he
bed
trips on the cat.
After all that.
And he falls down the floor and he goes rising down, and he has the music at the end, and the cat sort of going. Wow. Anyway, look, we're going off topic, but I love British sitcoms. So at some point we'll have to do a non-sci-fi based podcast. That might be quite fun. We could have
talk about 70s comedy.
Yeah, we could do
have a special
Solar One non-sci-fi special, and we could have me and you. I could put my head on Frank Spencer, and I'm going to have you on.
And before we go on, you should download Kinvig.
Kinvig, what's that?
Oh, it's a British sitcom. It's science fiction. It only lasted 6 episodes. It's crazy.
I never heard of that.
They only made 6 episodes. They cancelled it.
Okay, Kinvig.
There's this guy owns a junk shop, and he's walking his dog in park, and this spaceship lands in front of him, and there's a bird a lady in a bikini.
Right.
And she gives him a secret mission that these aliens are there to take over, and he's got this insane mate who's totally bonkers, and they're gone trying to wonder. It's they're down at the council offices trying to stop this all going on, but the people that he sees as these aliens on this spaceship, they're all like normal people in everyday life, so you don't know if he's imagining it.
Oh, okay.
Or not. She said he's got a great destiny, but he lives the right mundane life. It's called Kinvig. Trust me, download it.
Is it on YouTube? Is it on YouTube?
It was on YouTube, but I think it's been removed. So,
Okay.
but I managed to get a copy of it on DVD. I don't know where they are, but it's my friend's got them.
All right, so
But download it's called Kinvig. It was 80s. I forgot the committee. Science fiction, but no. But
is it one word? Is it one King of Vic?
Kinvig.
Kinvig. So Kingvig.
Yeah, it's worth doing a review of that, actually.
Okay.
It's bloody insane. You won't be able to turn it off. You'll recognise all the standard sitcom actors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes him because there's like this alien woman in bikini. She comes into his shop and she's like this posh woman that works for council or whatever. It's just insane. He goes on these insane missions, and you don't know if he's imagining it or, but she beams him up to ship and that.
Okay.
And they're going to make him Emperor at Universe. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's that good. It's bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, you've got me into a few shows yourself. I finally watched The Expanse through you, and I finally watched Space Above and Beyond. So, I'll take that on board.
Hang on.
I'm doing it as well. I'm just seeing if I can find it, Kinvig.
On YouTube. Kinvig, full episodes.
I'm doing exactly the same thing. It's popping up.
Yeah, well, it might be on. Kinvig. Yeah, I've found something.
Got something about space boots, Kinvig.
Yeah, it says a boot-centric edit of all 7 episodes. The entire episodes are found if you're
No, but it only says 4 minutes 25 though, unless it's a list. Oh, it's a list.
Unless it must be a list, but give it a go and download it. You'll find it. It's a classic, and if you want to review it, I'm up for talking about this. It's bonkers. I love when they made this stuff. Tony Haygarth, he's Des Kinvig.
Okay, it looks bizarre. It's just come on with this woman with his silver boots on, so end of part. Yeah, okay, all right, we'll do that. All right, matey, shall we go on to our topic of the week?
Yes,
right.
I can't wait for this.
This is going to be a good one. Let's hit that jingle. Here we go.
It's
The Solar Sci-Fi Focus
of the week.
Right, this week is a show which I have finally seen. I saw the first few episodes years and years ago, and I finally, thanks to Martin's persuasion, watched the whole thing from start to finish, and that is, of course, Space Above and Beyond, which is an American sci-fi series created by Fox. It showed in 1995-1996 season. It was a series based on a alien race who are invading the parts of space with regard to an Earth. This series focuses on these people in this, like a space academy, a military style thing, where they join up and they learn to become part of a unit trying to fight them, where they're also based on the USS Saratoga, and they go on these missions and stuff. The show also features in vitros, which are people who are created in tanks. There's also synthetics as well, which have these weird cross eyes, and it's such a very good series. Tell me, Martin, from your perspective, what you liked about it, how you got into it, and then we'll bounce off each other about this one.
I just got Sky at the time when Sky announces, and I saw adverts for it, and it was advertised. But I was in the video library actually. The pilot episode was actually on video,
right?
So I rented it out, and it blew me away. And then about a week later, it all started every week. But then I sort of got into it, and then a couple of years later, BBC Two started showing it.
Yeah.
Late at night, and that's when I really got in, because I was working at Sky. I was working a lot at the time, so I was only catching certain episodes. But it was Friday nights. I remember coming in from the pub when I was going out, and I used to watch it. They used to show 2 episodes a week,
right?
And I was addicted. I recorded every single episode and just milked it. But there is sort of, the ending was a bit annoying, but the potential of this series, it was incredible. I loved the character development.
Yeah,
I loved Earth. The politics on Earth fascinated me. The conspiracy, Aerodyne, the corporation, and I loved it how they kept the chigs a mystery till the final episode.
Yes, that's because last week I hadn't seen the last several episodes, and I asked you, and I said the one thing I didn't like was that the chigs, we never really saw them. We just saw these humanoid shaped people with these helmets on, and we never knew what they looked like physically, because when they get killed, if you take their helmets off, they have this chemical reaction where their faces dissolve into this like green goo, which was mentioned on more than one episode. And of course, I mean, we'll go on about the ending in a minute. Before we, let's talk a bit more about it and then how it went. But from my perspective, I liked it. I thought it was very solid. I mean, I saw this after Starship Troopers, and if anybody's seen Starship Troopers will know that must have been based on this series. There's so many parallels between those two respective things, and I actually
it's Colonial Marine.
Yeah, it's almost exactly the same thing. And I watched Starship Troopers yesterday after watching the end of it, and it was quite amazing just how they ripped off the idea, and it must have been from Space Above and Beyond. Now, I honestly was so surprised. You see, I was mentioning this on Facebook to someone the other day, that I'm watching 2 series at the moment in parallel. I was watching Space Above and Beyond, and I'm also watching Revolution. And I'm at the end. I've got the season finale of Revolution tonight, and I have watched this thing going round and round in circles. It's got some okay characters, but it never seems to go anywhere. And then I thought yesterday, when I watched the last episode, how in the space of 23 episodes, these characters had become these raw cadets kind of thing, who were, and in that they were proper, experienced veterans. And we also had a surprise because one of the characters got killed off, which I didn't expect that as well. But I really feel that the whole universe, the whole way it went, was very, very well developed. I just like all the characters. I like McQueen, who was the lead. I know his name now. I don't even need to check it now. And also his boss as well. He was good as well. And I like the fact it did feel a bit like a DS9 story arc as it built up towards the end with the fleets coming together for these big attacks. And I feel very satisfied from it. I feel like this was something I'm really glad I've watched. It's something I'm really glad I've learnt what it's all about, and I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to enjoy it again in the future. And that's what a series is all about. And that's
it was so worthy of so much more.
Yeah, exactly.
It was well produced. The effects for the time were astounding.
Very good. Yeah, exactly.
But like the favourite character really came into it was T.C. McQueen, the tank.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When he took on Chiggy von Richthofen, when he had on side of his chick fighter No Fate or Death to All or whatever.
That's right.
And they sent in the wild cards squads, and this thing were taking them out. It took out entire squadrons.
Oh,
And
yeah. That's right.
The two part, and in the second part, he's like he can't fly because it's something wrong with his ears.
Yeah, that's right. He's got
From
something.
the pilot episode.
Yeah.
The Angriest Angel. That's the episode.
That's it.
And he starts like quoting these great military leaders, his voice and the music. That a man, as you know, you live for that one moment, and this is my moment.
Yeah.
And he goes to get in his into his fighter, and that priest says to him, "Do you want to make peace with your God?" He said, "What, in a petri dish?" It's just how he said it, you know.
Yeah.
And he got in there with a standard fighter, and he took that out. He went in there and he took it. He blew it to hell.
That's right.
And he said, "I'm going to drink whiskey and get pissed to it," and you know, and he fantastic eulogy speeches all through him, and he just touched me. That character, I loved his character. He was a warrior.
Yeah, I know he was.
You know, and that's what I loved about it. You know, there were some powerful episodes in there.
There were some
Really,
very good focused episodes.
Like you said to me about the one where. I forgot his name. The other tank who was on that planet.
Cooper
You were seeing his
yeah.
life
Yeah.
with the bird.
Yeah.
You always saw the bird, and I love that.
Yeah, I did too. I did as well.
It's just fantastic, and the conspiracy as well, of like with the Earth government and the corporations.
It was brilliant. It was. I mean, I to be honest with you, now I've seen it once. I need to see it again because I think I'll enjoy it even more.
You won't be turning.
No, I don't blame you, mate. I think I'd do the same, quite frankly. But I'm thoroughly impressed with it. So let's quickly bounce off. What do you think of the characters? We've got obviously Captain Shane Vanson, who was the female sort of.
No.
Did you like her? What do you think of her? I mean, she was quite hot.
Married. She got married to creator of it.
Did she? Oh, blimey! I don't know that.
Married to one of the people that created it. Yeah.
She was good. I liked her. Very, very visual.
I mean, if you want like a strong female character, she was truly.
I thought she was good.
A leader.
Yeah,
fantastic.
She
Respect to her all the way through.
And obviously you had Lieutenant Nathan West, who was always. I like the fact that because he lost his girlfriend in the first episode, and that had a resolution in the last episode as well, which I thought was good, because I didn't think we'd see her again because they were trying to get the captured people back to the ship, and then she wasn't there in the crowd. I thought, so I bet the actress hasn't come back, and then she was there, and I thought, oh yeah, they got her back. I thought that was good. So that was Morgan. That was Nathan West's sort of. His character was good. Obviously, he lost his brother, which is a shame. I could see that happening.
Oh,
though.
that was horrible.
And of course,
with that idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we had obviously Cooper Hawkes, who was the other tank. I liked his character. I liked the way that he was a bit socially inept in some areas. There was one where he was like
he was a great warrior, but he was like a child.
Yes, he was. Like when they went to that Las Vegas sort of base thing, when he was trying to get him laid and stuff like that, and that was quite interesting. Yeah. I liked his character. Paul Wang, yeah, it's quite an ordinary sort of character.
I like Wang.
Yeah, I liked him.
Wang was like your everyday type guy you'd meet and get on with.
Yeah, and they killed him off in the last episode, which was a bit.
And then there was the other one, the other lady.
That's Vanessa Damphouse.
Yeah.
I've got all
she
the.
Was cool.
Yeah, she was good. They sort of had a sort of almost thing getting together at one point, didn't they? Those two as well. So,
yeah.
And
she did that weird episode where she could see death.
Yes, the shallow, the sort of silhouettes of stuff, couldn't she? That was the that was her best episode. And then of course that was her best episode. And then of course we had McQueen, played by James Morrison. I've seen him on something else though. What has he been on? I'm sure I've seen that to something else.
He's one of them actors. He's just been all over TV.
Yeah, I'm actually in his filmography. He's been. Let's see what's anything else I've seen that's featured him.
But he's known more for that than anything else.
Yeah, he's been in the X-Files. Oh, David Duchovny appeared in an episode of as well.
Oh, he did.
He played as like this synthetic pool shark or something, which was quite a surprise.
Yeah, what did they call him? What did they call the robots now?
Not synths or something. It begins like S.
Yeah.
Something like that. I thought that was good.
I mean, they had a great backstory when that mad programmer put in Take a Chance and it screwed them all up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
The AI Wars, that was it.
So let's go on to obviously how the show went off, and of course we have the chicks at the end. Now, as I said to you last week, you said you were going to be really shocked as to what happened at the end. Now, I mean, when we saw that, what they thought was another alien in the penultimate episode, who actually was a chick, did you think that was a chick?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
I did as well.
Saw it, I assumed. Yeah. At first I thought, and then just so we're getting to end, I thought that's a chick. It's a bloody chick.
Although there's one thing,
but it's a female one, isn't it?
There's one thing I've suddenly just went a bit pop in my head. How come that chick could breathe oxygen?
Well, they had helmets on, didn't they?
Oh, maybe they did.
Were breathing
yeah,
so
yeah. You know, you're right. No, you're right. Sorry, I couldn't remember if they had their helmets off or on, but I think you're right. They had their helmets. Okay, that answers that question.
Yeah. Showed it that comic book, didn't they?
Yeah. So
he ran off.
I know. So, I mean, in the end, we found out that obviously he was a chick, or she was a chick. So, what did you think about the resolution of the chicks, their look, and the fact that they seem to have also been another offshoot from Earth? What did you think about that?
I thought the episode was about 25 minutes into it, but all right. Like it was going at a standard pace. That the chicks here and they want a peace thing. And then I like the arguing with the chick in the room with and when the chick said, you know, we warned you to stay away, we don't want out to do with you, stay away.
Right.
And he turned around and said, oh, we never did. He said, you did, you're calling us a liar. You sent a probe to our planet and we didn't want out to do with you. We said stay away and you wouldn't have it. You kept sending more probes and he was denying it, and they were all them Earth generals all looking at him because there were that conspiracy running through, weren't there? You know, through the whole thing about Cyberdyne, knew a lot more.
Yes.
Aerodyne knew a lot more about them than the government did, didn't it? And you know, and it all kicked off. And then when the chicks around said, "We are you," and we came from the same fucking comet or asteroid it created life because we went to you, that annoyed me. It were a cop out, that one.
I wasn't that bothered about it. I don't know why. I mean, maybe if I saw it again, but I know that you already gave the indication that you were disappointed by the ending of it.
Yeah,
so.
I was extremely disappointed with it. Yeah.
Did it sour you from? Obviously, it didn't sour you too much from the whole show, though. Apart from that.
Well, no, because really, if you like, obviously we will sort of imagine the season 2 in a couple of weeks' time when we go back to this.
Yes, yeah.
It's to me the chicks could be lying because they were vast manipulator. They were quite deceitful race, weren't they? They were brutal, weren't they? The chicks. I mean, they were just as sick and bloodthirsty as what we were, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a strange one, wasn't it? But it's yeah. I know
What was your feelings on that moment? That was the defining moment of it all, wasn't it? That moment.
What you mean when they realise that they've come from Earth? You mean?
Yeah, and they all started freaking out.
I like the idea that it's very much like Red Dwarf, where it seems like in this series, life seems to have only come from one planet, which is the same as Red Dwarf. I kind of like that, but when I heard that, I think I was open to it. That if season 2 had been made, they probably would have given a lot more explanation of how they evolved, how they left Earth, and how they evolution was. They said somewhere at some point that evolution was faster for them for some reason. I didn't. Yes. I was all right about it. I wasn't.
Well, they were more advanced.
I'm glad, to be honest with you, at that point, because there had been so little information about the race itself. I was actually just grateful to get something. Then they could have bounced off the next season, because that was one of the factors that I felt was a slight at fault, was that the chicks were just this kind of generalized kind of bad guy kind of thing, where we didn't really know much about them, where I'm used to other sort of sci-fi shows where we really know the race and what they're about. I mean, a good example is like the Dominion or something from Star Trek, how well thought out.
I mean, season 2 could have opened up an entire
and I think
universe.
I think it could have done. I think it might have actually done, given that reveal, made it not so bad. but they didn't get the chance. They just threw
and
it
they
at
could
us.
have brought in other alien races as well.
Yeah, they could have done. I mean, they didn't. That's what I'm saying, and that was the interesting
Yeah.
thing. They thought that the chick that was on that planet was a different alien race. And
Yeah.
from what I understood, from what I've seen of the series, there was never any other alien race that was mentioned. So I think it was just that. But whatever it was, yeah, I thought it was certainly interesting. So I rate it very highly. I rate it probably 8 out of 10 for first viewing. I think that. Well, for first viewing. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
that's acceptable.
I think that will go up definitely.
It's a 9.5 for me.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon mine will go up as well. Yeah,
I just think they could have done something. But we got 20 odd episodes. They used to desecrate human bodies because they didn't like them being buried. There were all this thing about their culture which fascinated me.
Yeah,
and they were made out to be the bad guys, and it were us that started the war with them.
Yeah, because it was their precious burial ground or something, wasn't it? They didn't tell that to the light, and finally, in the last episode, they had a way of communicating, which, of course, that was another interesting factor. Because if you can't communicate properly between each other, how on earth are you supposed to work out where you stand and what's the disagreement? It was good. It was really good, and I promise you that rating of 8 will go up once I've seen it all again. Because like I said, so thank you for recommending that. Anything else you want to finish off this slot with regard to this series?
Yeah, to me it's a masterpiece. It should have been worthy of a season 2, and
Absolutely.
I hope in a couple of weeks we take it beyond where it should have gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame they can't. I mean, the thing is, I'm surprised this wasn't bigger. I mean,
the networks were moving it around and all this, and
I was looking at a review of it yesterday, and they said one problem with it is it didn't kind of fit into quite any genre. Some people said
it was beyond its time.
It wasn't quite a war series. It wasn't quite the normal sci-fi series. And also at the time, it was having competition from things like the Star Trek series. At that point, DS9 was on, and Voyager was on, and then of course you had the X-Files on, and quite a few other series. It's a shame. I never saw it. I never saw it until recently.
If it was on today, it would be a big hit. That thing,
I agree.
It was 20 years beyond its time.
I agree.
It was, people were used to phasers and aliens with bulky heads, and then you got this. It was a serious thing, and it was beyond its time, and it never got a chance. It's such a shame that it never. And it came from the X-Files as well, the creators of the X-Files. That's its origins, and it's such a shame.
Yeah, it was a shame. But I'm really glad. So thank you for introducing that to me. I'm really glad to have that part of my collection, and I hope at some point that something will be done with it, even if it's a remake, which probably wouldn't be as good. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Did you like the whole racism thing with the tanks and the AI and all that?
Yeah, I did. It was very clever, and it's an unusual way of doing it, because of course sci-fi often does tackle racism. Very quickly, before we finish this, just to go into the next generation, apparently Code of Honor, which is like the second episode of the first season, which involves the black community on this race where they want Tasha Yar to marry this I don't remember the episode, but apparently it's really thought of as an episode which may well be banned in the future from being shown, because obviously it's made in the 80s.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Where he kidnapped her, took her down to that
That's
planet.
it, yeah. Apparently because the race were predominantly black, there was some issue. Some people saying it was racist. I don't think it was that bad, but you know how everyone's overacting.
Well, it might be today. I don't know. I've not seen that in years, but I might take another look at that. It might have a good point.
Give it a watch, and
I will do.
If you get a chance,
know.
and then we could even briefly mention it next week with all this racism stuff going on. So, but going back to Space Above and Beyond, great series, great characters, great story, and I'm very, very satisfied with it. And I'm really glad that they did it. So well done. There you go. Sound effect. There we go. He's got a round of applause.
And a great soundtrack.
Yes, exactly. It was, and I put the opening theme as well at the beginning of this as well, which is cool. And they changed the titles as well midway through as well. And I prefer they
got really big, didn't they?
Yeah, it got bigger. That's what I'm saying. The series started off as good, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what I loved about it, and that's what I'm going to remember. Right. On that note, we're going to go into our topic of cancelled. Nay, it's here to stay. Are you ready for this one?
Oh yes.
Oh my God! Here we go. Here's the jingle. Cancelled?
I
Nay.
can hear lots of static.
It's here to stay. Alright, so this week we are focusing on a series which actually, this is going to be an unusual one. This is the 1980s version of The War of the Worlds, which was a direct continuation or sequel to the 1953 film. Now, this is unusual because what we want to do this week is we're going to, rather than actually focus on the end of the entire series, it is a series which is strange because the second series is almost like a parallel universe, almost a different series in its own right. So what we wanted to talk about was the far superior first series, as to how... We binned it. The second season
season's binned, right?
Yeah, they never made the second season. It finished at the end of the first series. So, and I think that would have been fine with me because, like I said, the second series was really quite pants in my perspective. So the first series, if people aren't aware, the aliens from the 53 invasion had been put in these big metal containers on scrap yards and all sorts of military bases and stuff like that. And then these containers come into contact with radiation, which makes the dormant aliens who were thought to be dead, it reconstitutes them, it wakes them up, and they then burst out of the tanks. They can now assimilate people or actually take over their bodies, although their bodies will rot. And it's about them trying to continue the war, even though most of their ships were gone and they were just a very kind of almost like a scavenger kind of race of aliens trying to use technology for their own ends. So what do you think we could have done to continue? I mean, I'll obviously bounce off my ideas as well, but first of all, what do you think?
Well, as in the roles, I'd definitely take it from the final episode with the other alien.
Right.
With a caveat mixed in at the end.
Okay, so do you want what's go on.
When she sent the message into space, she turned around and said, "We found a new food source."
That's it. So
yeah,
now
finish there.
Now, anybody with any intelligence will think to themselves, well, why didn't they do what we're talking about now and bring back this race? But they didn't. They went a completely different tangent. So, would you have liked to have seen the first alien race sort of even unite with humanity because they had a common enemy? Do you think that might be a good idea?
I think because the Martians were so duplicitous, I think there would be some of them that would approach the Harrison Wood project and say, look, it's this thing that's come. The android chick, she's a lot more than what you realise. Their race hunts us, and they're gonna hunt you for food.
Yeah, okay.
But the purists, the council, them three, just sat in that cave. They wouldn't.
So you're saying there'd be like a faction? They would have splintered off or something?
Yeah,
okay.
Be a very small faction. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what I would have liked to have seen is perhaps they would have discovered a huge area of dormant Martian war machines from the first invasion. There's some organisation which has kept a load of them in some huge base or somewhere, rather than just in the first one. And they managed to get the ships working, and there's about a fleet of about 20 of them. Where they could have somehow got them involved in a defence force for the second wave of aliens that were coming. I don't know. I would like to have at least seen some more links, because to me, the what makes the 1953 film so iconic were those fantastic machines destroying the world, and the way they looked and the sounds and everything. And they were used sporadically in the first season of the War of the Worlds TV series. I would like that, some more connections with the original film. Would you like to see?
Because
that would be quite cool.
All the tech started?
All those ships were there.
Exactly.
So that's exactly what I'm thinking. So they only have 3 in Area 51. Well, there must have been literally hundreds, if not thousands, of them. Where are they? And they could have got them going. They could have even done it so that the humans are able to pilot them somehow. And then the second wave of these other aliens coming along would have more. They'll be used for humanity and defence rather than them as the threat from the first version.
I'd say that one of the council, there's an honoured scientist among their race who came with them in the 53 invasion, and he sees they're not getting any contact with the homeworlds. There's been they were sending messages, but nothing were coming back really. And if it did, their homeworld's gone. It's gone. It's dead.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there's some of them are thinking, well, there ain't enough of us to take over the planet. They've got all our technology in bunkers, and all we are is like a terrorist organisation at the moment. We infiltrate, but there's not enough of us. So there will be the scientist leader. He will approach the human government and say, look, you know, what you've opened the door for is far worse than us, and we're stuck on your planet.
Yeah.
You know, so whether you like it or not, we're here.
Yeah, you see, I mean, that could have been really good.
With the humans.
Yeah.
It's about learning about each other and working. But it's to stop this thing. It makes them look like nothing when they turn up, because they're coming.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, all these ideas are really could have worked off well. Would you like to see like Norton Drake carry on, and also all the other?
Yeah, well, he'd be put in charge of it because because of this new threat that's coming. When it all comes out, the governments of the world have to, like, it's under UN. They have to they reveal what happened to all the technology.
Yeah,
and there's another organisation, but as a caveat, I'd add Gary Seven to it.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, you often have caveats from other series and stuff like that,
yes,
but I don't mind that. I mean,
it's in the Paramount universe. Yes, it can be done.
Yeah, and like we did with the BBC series Universe last week with the Triffids and so others. Yeah, I think that could be an interesting thing. I think so. Let's quickly then think about the fact that this is the way that we think it should have gone. So how idiotic does it sound when they did what they did with the second season, where it was literally just this kind of weird kind of world where I still don't quite know what the second season was about. I'm just trying to think. I can't even put into words.
You'll have a head over.
I can't even put into words.
About the second season.
I know.
It doesn't exist.
I know. I'm sorry. I just
go there. Stop it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to protect.
Yeah, I know you are.
Go to the second fucking season.
I know, but they made it. That's the problem. And every time you're thinking about these ideas about how the excellent first season could have gone, I keep getting these flashbacks of them sort of sitting in this dark, dingy kind of room. Sorry. Right, okay. I'm hitting delete on my memory bank. Delete. Okay. All right, so do you think then with this, the alternate season 2, do you think it would have been a good, like a 5-6 season arc or something? Would you like it? Or
I'd say 5 years story.
So a real long slog.
I wouldn't.
Go on.
I'd bring the robot chick back with several others. But their probes, they've come back with it's what's that? What they call an invasion, where the first lot turn up, but they're like the
first wave.
The setup at the first wave, but there's about 30 of them that turn up. They start on the Martians down. That's when they start coming towards us, because they take out a lot of the Martians, you know, because they're a threat to them.
Yeah,
and human tech. So that's when the Martians are forced. Some of them are forced to approach us. They kidnap Blackwood, and they tell him, look, you know, you were a bit gullible, but they're hunting, and he works out, well, they're killing your lot, and they kill a lot of Martians. It's like a first wave. But by the second season, obviously there'll be events where the human saves the Martian and all this, where the things start forming because they've got to survive. But by the end of the second season of this, the other lot turn up in force. They turn up and that's where you take it. It goes to this, another wave turns up before it's in 3 stages. The third wave is the big one.
That sounds good.
But the other one sets up the infrastructure, then more arrive. Infiltrating.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Well, look, I think that sounds like a great alternative version of this series. To sum up, then, how do you think it would have ended?
It'd have ended. Oh God, I'm gonna have to say this, and I don't want to say it. It'd end up like season 2 at the end. I hate you for this. I do. Well, there's a lot of people died on Earth. We thought
Oh god! Then actually, well, they could have tagged it on. They could have they could almost it's like a filler kind of in between season
well,
1
the
and 2.
survivors, when the third wave came, we destroyed them at a great
God.
cost to ourselves, and the world changes. But he's still sending the marshal.
And it's always night time. Then it's always night time. They're back in their bunker hiding in there, and I don't know what's happened. And they're terrible intros. So that guy says, "There's a man dying," and I don't know why. And it's, oh god. All right.
Yeah, well, all right. I admit, I'm sorry, but at the end, the Earth's pretty devastated. But they can save civilization. But
okay.
it's both races have to work together.
Yeah,
now.
it's like a sort of like a symbiotic duality kind of thing where they're living together to survive. Martin, thank you. I think that's really good.
I didn't want to bring up season 2 there.
I know, well, I did as well. We both did.
End,
we both couldn't resist at one point, which is quite interesting.
You know, I fucking hate that series, and I never want to talk about it ever again. I fucking hate that series. There's a man, he's alive. What do we do?
I know, it's terrible. I know, we've done it twice. We did it with this. We did a show focusing on, well, it's more the whole War of the Worlds. But yes, thank you, Martin, for that. Right, I think that's about it for today's show. Unless there's anything else that you think of.
No, that's it. I think that's me covered. I'm just
good.
going to go fucking sulk.
Yeah,
I'm
going to pour myself whiskey and coke after hearing about that. So. Right, we're going to finish off when, obviously you've heard of Babylon Zoo with Spaceman. We also had a different Spaceman one. This is a version of the song by The Nice and Easy Experience. I don't know if you've ever heard this. It's a really weird kind of sort of poppy kind of... it's a weird version of Spaceman, but it's sci-fi related, so it'll do for us. So next week, would you like to do the original series of Battlestar Galactica?
Oh, God, yeah, I've got such a... Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. All right, and then we're going to do Independence Day as well. So we've got a few shows coming out. Next week is Battlestar.
Oh, yes, yeah, the Independence
I've done all the graphics already, which is why I haven't forgotten it.
Excellent.
All right, so brilliant. Martin, thank you very much. We'll catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Laters. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.
Pungent smells, they consummate my home. Beyond the black horizon, trying to take control. See my girl, she shivers in her bones. The sun and zenith rising, trying to take us on. There's a fire between us. Where is your God? There's a fire between us. I can't get off the carousel. I can't get off this world. Sickening state homophobic jokes, images of fascist folks. Beam me up 'cause I can't breathe. Wanted you to go into space, Spaceman, I always wanted you to go into space, There's a fire between us. Where is your God? There's a fire between us. I can't get off the carousel. I can't get out of this world. Spaceman, I always wanted you to go into space.
Bye.